Blowing ad budget on metrics that look great till the CFO sees them, that's bull spend. And marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
I remember telling my boss, it'll be good for the brand, when leads were slow. Yeah, it wasn't.
Cut the bull spend. LinkedIn lets you target by company, job title, and more. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Struggling with weight loss? Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking diet is a clinically developed nutrition program designed to promote fat loss while protecting lean body mass. Developed at USC's Longevity Institute, it assists the body in entering a fasting-like state that helps reset metabolism and target visceral fat. In just 5 days, Prolon offers a science-backed approach to weight loss without extreme restriction or guesswork. Get 20% off plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe at prolonlife.com/now.
January 1st, 2019, when she lost her youngest son, Chandler, to a traumatic brain injury. Most people think resilience begins with courage, or they think healing begins with hope. Today, we're talking about grief, faith, resilience, and how to move forward when life feels impossible. Welcome to the SwagAbility Show, where faith meets resilience and stories become light in dark places. I'm your host, Steve Wagstaff, founder of SwagAbility, where our mission is to see you to thrive wherever life finds you. If you've ever faced adversity, trauma, loss, illness, disability, or caregiver burnout, this space is for you. Today, I'm talking with Lisa Espinoza. Lisa is an author, a speaker, advocate, and author of an amazing book that you need to get your hands on. It's called First Brush Your Teeth. Lisa, thanks for taking a few minutes of your time. I know big time differences in our time zone, but we managed to work it out. I appreciate you giving me a few minutes of your time today.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate and never take for granted the privilege of coming alongside people who are in the middle of loss and whatever shape that takes.
Mm. Yes, I don't know if it's a calling or it's something, or I don't know what it is, but it seems like God gives people the ability to walk with others through darkness, calling no one would choose, but to those that He's given in some circumstances. I'm wondering if we can just begin. Could you tell me a little bit about Chandler? I mean, I've read bits, but I'd love to hear it from the words of Mom about who Chandler was. What made him Chandler?
Oh man. Dimples that were flashed throughout his life, like the grin, the Chandler dimples, it just that's kind of indicative of Chandler, that little grin, whether he was surfing, body surfing, hiking, golfing, dancing, all of the things. Like everything that you could do to just, savor life and be in the moment.
What
And
uniquely made him Chandler?
oh,
I mean, that's a wide question, but some people say out of the kids, he's the quirky one, or he's the smart one, or
he had an old soul. This is what I mean. When he was I think he was 3 years old, maybe. But he was young, and he had this adorable little lisp. And he said, "Mom, I don't think people mean it when they say that they have Jesus in their heart, because Jesus has us in His heart." I mean, somehow his little mind, his little heart was aware that the really important thing is we're in God's heart. We're in God's heart. That we're in His line of sight all the time. And he got that at an early age, without any theology surrounding it. It was just he just knew that.
When people tell you stories about your son, and I would imagine if he was the child that lived bigger than life, there'd be many stories. Is there one or two that stand out that right now you're thinking about that make you smile? Because, you know, one of the brothers that, or one of the boys that would never say this, now you're finding things out. Are there any stories that surprise you or make you laugh now when you think back about things?
One of my dearest friends took Chandler with her and her daughter to a local outdoor mall,
Mhm.
and there's a koi pond. And of course, Chandler fell, and I'm doing air quotes, into the koi pond.
What is a
And
koi pond?
it's a koi, like it's a fish, like a goldfish pond at
Gotcha.
this outdoor mall.
Yeah.
So of course, that's
He's
where
one.
Chandler ended up.
Yeah.
That was just him. We have a family beach picture made, and all of us, our clothes are nice and dry.
Mhm.
And then we told Chandler, "Stay out of the water, son. We're gonna do our picture. Maybe you can get in afterwards." You look at this picture, and the bottom of his shorts has a line where he had to just step into the water.
Yeah.
He just he
Live.
just the water, the mountain, the dance floor,
Mhm.
the whatever it was, it called to him, and he just another thing that I found out later,
Yeah.
he did a flip off of from one of his friends' roof into their backyard pool. I saw that video. Uh, yeah, there were just there were a lot. There were a lot. He jumped off of a really high seawall and did a
Okay.
flip at the beach. I didn't know that, but I knew enough. I
I
knew enough
imagine.
his whole life to be really in prayer for
I don't
Chan.
know how moms sleep at night because I grew up on a street with 5 boys
Oh,
and, 5 of us, and when we all have the same straight story, you know it's rehearsed, right? So you never know the real what happened, but as a mom, yeah, you
yeah.
must I lost my mom, when she was 50, but
Mhm.
I remember her, uh saying she saw me, she was aware that I broke my neck, but she would say, "I don't know, son, how you didn't break your neck probably 14, 15 times over." So, the
Mhm.
boys will be boys, I guess, as we
Yeah,
would say it.
yeah,
Yeah. Living life to its
living life.
fullest. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh, are you able to, or are are you able to take us back to January 1st of 2019 if I
Yeah.
ask what happened, or would you rather
So
not?
so December 15th is kinda where it all started, December 15th, 2018,
18.
and I'll just kinda truncate the whole story to say
Yeah.
that I got a call. It's the call that no parent wants to get,
Hmm.
and they said, "Is this Chandler Espinoza's mother?" "Yes." "He's been hit by a car, and he's at the hospital." And I just thought, at 2, 3, he fell or jumped maybe out of his toy box and broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
He cracked a cervical, like just a little thin crack in a cervical vertebrae, body surfing. He got bit, a bite by a little baby rattler that he had picked up just, I don't know, a year or 2 before that.
Mhm.
Um, Thankfully, no poison. Like there was all stitches, breaks, everything.
Yeah.
So I just thought this is gonna be like all the other times and he's gonna be fine. And I said, Is he okay?" And they said, "You need to get here as soon as you can." And something just told me this is different. So to make a really long story short, over 18 days, we experienced bad news after bad news, or no news really was bad news because we knew he would be paralyzed if he lived. That's what they told us the first night. If he lives, he'll be paralyzed. And we're like, okay, we will retrofit the
Yeah.
downstairs. He'll have a bedroom. He'll have a
Yeah.
bath. And I've said many times, I am certain that we would get a call in the future saying, "Miss Espinoza, you need to pick up Chandler. He did a flip in his wheelchair, and you got to come get him. He's
Yeah.
fine." I just knew this is going to be Chandler. It'll just look different.
Yeah.
But we kept getting news that was not he was going to be paralyzed. It
May I
was
ask, was it a vehicle, like vehicle
he
with
was he
vehicle?
was hit by a car when he was riding his prized possession to work, which is his BMX bike
Okay.
that we still have hanging in our garage.
Yeah.
He had put all the pieces together, all the parts. He was always into doing the flips on the bike and
Yeah.
all the things that give you a heart attack. So he was riding it to work 'cause we don't live too far from where he worked at Board and Brew.
Mhm.
And so he he was hit by a car riding to work.
Gotcha.
And so I don't know how many days in, we got the call from the neurologist, neurosurgeon who said, "It's as bad as it can be. It's diffuse axonal injury, and it's as if somebody took a paintbrush and kind of covered it in paint, pulled back the bristles and let them go, and the paint just flies all over the canvas. It's in brainstem, it's diffuse all over his brain.
Oh,
And there's probably less than a 3% chance of any meaningful existence if he lives." And our family knew there didn't even need to be a prolonged discussion. Every one of us knew Chandler would not want that just to exist because the medical, uh, you know, capability
I
is there to
understand.
make it happen.
Mhm.
Um, what we know now from the time his head hit the pavement, it, it was the worst prognosis. We weren't told that, but it was really bad for as far as prognosticating factors. And so we knew that he would want to be an organ donor. We talked to the hospital and said we at this, and the doctor said comfort care would definitely be appropriate. So we made that decision. And on January 1st, 2019, I watched my son take his last breath.
I don't even know where to go as an interviewer there. I I don't even think asking what stands out in a moment when you're confronted with the reality that sinks in because I don't know, was there a time of hopefulness at all during the process that people were hanging on to? And
Yeah.
then there
it-
came a moment when that hopefulness
yes.
became a reality that this was not going to change.
That's a really good question. Absolutely. Once they told us, we don't know the extent. It was the first night. As soon as the surgeon came out of the emergency surgery, and of
Yeah.
course he had a cranium. They took part of his skull
Yeah.
off and
Mhm.
all of that, and we knew that it would be touch and go if he would even survive the night. And he did code at least once during the night while we were or before we were allowed to go back and see him. Um, and we were told he would be paralyzed and have brain damage. We didn't know what extent the brain damage would be. So we just held on to hope. We started looking at, places we could take him for rehab, for spinal rehab as well as brain
Yeah.
injury rehab.
Yeah.
And, friends were wonderful saying, we'll connect you to this or that rehab. And so that was our hope that,
Yeah.
this will be difficult. I don't want to minimize it at all.
Yeah.
It's life changing for Chandler, for everybody,
Mm.
but we'll figure this out. We'll do it. And and the brain damage part was the part where we didn't know.
Yeah.
And we just kept holding on. There was one day, and I remember writing this in my book that or in my journal that day, my blog that day, that I felt like Chandler turned intentionally and looked at me,
Those-
not at me, but my direction while I was by his bed. And I hoped that that was the case. But as days went on, there was no reactionary response, um, no meaningful responses. Even when they started to pull the meds off,
Yeah.
there was nothing that they wanted to see.
Yeah.
And the final was they were waiting for the imaging. And once we got the imaging and got the news from the neurosurgeon, then we knew the extent of the brain damage. That was the point where everything we just, for us, and I'm not judging anybody else in this situation at all. For us, we just knew this is this is not what Chandler would want. And if he had been left, I mean, not to say that this would, it's a hard situation, but if he had been left, were there not medical, um, you know,
Mhm.
extraordinary measures
Mhm.
possible, he would not have been there for the 18 days.
Okay.
So for us, the decision was really
Yeah.
not easy,
No.
but clear, and not one bit of wavering among his siblings, which tells you something.
Yeah. If there's a family, of course, every circumstance is going to be different.
Absolutely.
Everyone will be. So I I think it's an okay question, but I understand the answer could go a variety of ways. If they're in the ICU, find themselves in a similar situation in the ICU, are there questions that, looking back on this, that you
Yeah.
would urge them to ask doctors or
Yeah.
medical professionals in the ICU at that time, if they're watching this or see this, that you would have wanted to ask sooner or anything like that?
100% yes.
Okay.
100% yes. I would have we would have wanted to know from day one. We're a family of faith. We are hopeful.
Mhm.
We also want to be realistic about my son's condition.
Mhm.
Give us the whole picture. I want to know, and I didn't know to ask any of this. I want to know the Glasgow coma score.
Mhm.
I want to know, was he posturing? I want to know, what were his pupils doing? I want to know the prognosticating factors. What are the things that you look at
Yeah.
to be realistic
Mhm.
about a prognosis? And I am not setting aside the possibility of a miracle or the possibilities, but
Yeah.
also I I don't want to I don't want to take chances that are minute with my son,
Mhm.
knowing what he's going to exist in and as.
Yeah.
So all of that information I would have wanted up front. I would have wanted someone to tell us up front, given the severity of what's happened to your son, this is a difficult thing to even think about, and we're going to hope for the best. But you may want to consider a DNR. You may want to consider what comfort care looks like at some point.
Yeah.
We're not going to go there yet.
No.
We're going to do what we can do. But these are the realities when someone has been injured to this degree with
Yeah.
brain damage.
Mm.
No one ever said a word about any of that. And when it finally was said, it was us. It was
Yeah.
us. It
I
was
didn't
us
see it.
saying Chandler would want to be an organ donor. We know
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And that was never, it was us. And then it was them pushing back at us.
How did
And
losing the opportunity for Chandler to become an organ donor affect your
mm,
grief on top of grief?
mm, I'm mad about it.
I bet.
I'm mad about it.
I bet.
That's the thing. People ask me, "Are you mad at God? Have you been?" I mean, unless I'm like totally denying something or pushing something down, I've never. That's not been the thing. I'm mad at a system or a person or persons who robbed Chandler of
Yeah.
that ability to bring literal life to someone else. There was someone else waiting for organs, because that's what
Absolutely.
happens when they're interviewing and they're finalizing the process and they're set up to be there for an organ donation process. Somebody else is already thinking, we're going to get a heart or a lung or liver, what, and that wasn't able to happen.
I have
Um,
seen
yeah.
the sides uh, of that. For a 2-year-old, I went through a family with a two. They had choked on popcorn and
Ugh.
similar circumstances, brain injury beyond
Mm,
repair because of that. And then there was that conversation that was had,
mm,
and now I see in hindsight the effect that it has had. Of course, they don't know names; they're not allowed that, but to them, their son lives on in a different
mhm.
way, and so I can see
Yeah.
how grief must be compounded on top of grief. Uh,
It's a nightmare on top of what
yeah,
was already a nightmare. I can't watch the New Year's Day parade. Not that that's the worst thing that's ever happened in my life,
yeah,
but I can't watch the New Year's Day parade with the float, the organ donor float,
yeah.
because it just hurts. It just hurts. And I had left our house that morning knowing this is the day, and I saw that float. It was on right as I was walking out of our house. And I was like, "That's our sign. That's
Yeah.
our sign. Thank you, God." And then the
Megan's
day
that,
ended, and yeah,
um, I mean, sorry is a word that the dictionary doesn't allow you to add
yeah,
on to. It's the only word we have to say, but sometimes silence is even better than the word sorry because that's unimaginable.
yeah.
Um, you were mentioning that you were writing either a blog or down,
Mhm.
and I understand afterwards these memoirs of things were put into a book. Where did the phrase come from? First brush your teeth.
Because quite honestly, when you feel paralyzed with, like, just, I don't even know what to do next. I don't
Yeah.
know that I can I don't know that there is a next.
Mm,
What does life look like now? Does it look like anything? You can't look ahead at this whole mountain of grief that you have to climb.
mm-mm.
That's not even, so what can I do? Maybe I can just go brush my teeth. And if I brush my teeth, maybe that will move me into my closet where I'll put on some clothes. And then maybe I'll go downstairs, get some coffee, and sit on my couch. And then maybe I'll text a friend or just sit there. But if I just can first brush my teeth, it will get me at least one step ahead today. So
I don't
first
want to keep
brush your teeth.
dwelling on backwards. What did those first weeks look like? I mean, I can't imagine
Oh, it was surreal.
days,
I kept thinking he was
weeks.
gonna walk through the door, you
Yeah,
know? You think
yeah.
you're gonna wake up and it's not real.
Mm.
Um, it like everybody says at first, everybody's like, you know, around, and I remember when my sister and my niece and nephew and all left, that after his celebration of life, which was
And
January 13th, and,
yeah,
they walked out the door, and I
and then
thought,
you left.
This is it now. The celebration of life is done." Not that people disappeared at
No,
all.
it's not on them.
No, I people were still wonderful, and people brought us meals for
Yes.
so long. My kids were like, "Can we keep getting meals? This is nice." Um, like, it was, people were supportive and wonderful, but it's that celebration of life or memorial or whatever you call it
Yes.
in your tradition. Once that's done,
Yes.
okay, now we gotta figure out,
Mm.
what does this look like?
Yeah.
Well, like, is there a normal? Is it a new normal? Is it just abnormal and we just have to get used to, like, what is this now? What does it look like? And that's where first brush your teeth, just, you can't figure it all out.
Yeah.
It's just this, it's
It's a
sort of this,
powerful metaphor.
it's just, well, I realize as I look back at my whole life, I mean, I lost my mom when I was 18. She had lung cancer. And I realized that, I could name a lot of things through my life that have been really, really hard.
Mhm.
And how did I get through them? All I knew at the time was I didn't know to label it this, but brush your teeth,
Mhm.
put your clothes on,
What surprised
sing
you
at your
most?
mother's funeral, you know.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
So, sing at your mother's funeral.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't know if that was a great idea, but just the next thing, the
Yes.
next thing. And so when I lost Chandler, it just kind of all crystallized in my mind. First, brush your teeth. It's not a how-to of
No.
5 ways to blah, blah, blah. It's really just a framework of resilience, as it turns out.
Mhm.
That what is your brush your teeth? Maybe for you, it's make the bed. Maybe it's walk the dog.
Mhm.
Maybe it's check my email. Nobody can tell you what your first brush your teeth is. But you're right. That's the metaphor. That's the resilience framework that you don't even know that you're building at the time. You're
No.
just surviving.
Uh,
You're just surviving.
that's a great statement. You don't, you're right. That brush your teeth, that is the first step of momentum you don't even know is moving.
Yeah.
But it is a direction. At least it is a direction in some way.
Yeah.
What do you think people most misunderstand about grief? And I guess along with that, we go through different things, but that's a level of grief. I guess I'm asking, was there anything that surprised you about grief? And then I guess secondly, to add on to that, what do people misunderstand most about grief, do you think?
So the first thing, what surprised me, one of the things, because I'd lost my mom so
Mm,
young, and to try to kind of compare the two, number one, I grieved all the wrong ways with her. Like I was in total denial, minimized the whole thing because I'm like, oh, she's in heaven. This is just her body.
yeah,
It was not a healthy way to go about it. But I was 18.
yeah,
So what surprised me then when I lost Chandler was the physiological response. I would catch myself going, like trying to I could get my breath. It wasn't that I couldn't breathe, but a lot of sighing, a lot of just sighing. And when I studied to get a certification as a grief and loss counselor, one of the things I learned was that your body is doing hard work to process this loss. And part of that is a lot of people have this sighing thing, and I was actually very relieved to find out that this wasn't it wasn't wrong, it wasn't abnormal, I didn't need to go to the doctor. It
no,
was, not to say if you're having shortness of breath, you shouldn't go to the doctor. I didn't say that. But it is a common grief response to have this kinda like you just have to take a deep breath and sigh. That was surprising to me. Um, One of the things that I think people misunderstand about grief and loss is they think that if they bring up the one that you've lost, this is gonna make you sad,
yeah,
and you just wanna go, "You know what? You didn't remind me of something I didn't know." Like,
mhm,
you're never gonna walk up to me and go, "Hey, do you wanna talk about Chandler or how you lost Chandler?" And I'm never gonna go, "Oh, shoot,
yeah,
I forgot
yeah.
that I had lost Chandler. You just reminded me, and now I'm sad."
That's a
That's
great
never gonna
point.
happen.
Yeah,
Anytime, anywhere, any place, anybody that wants to say, "Hey, tell me something about Chandler," I'm in. I'm all in anytime. Same with my mom. I mean, it's a different shape of I mean, I don't have that acute ache. I
yeah,
miss my mom. I wish that she'd been able to be around for all of the milestones of my life. I hate
mm,
that. She was amazing. It just, for me, feels different now, so many years later.
right.
Um, but Chandler, I think probably till the day I take my last breath, if I can tell a Chandler story, I may get a lump in my throat,
Yeah,
and I may not. it depends on the day. It depends on the day. But I will 100%, I will tell a Chandler story anytime. And so I think that one of the things that we misunderstand about grief is that people don't want to talk about the one that they've lost. And what I've found, I'm sure this is not universal. Nothing is universal because we're people. But for most of the moms I've talked to, most of the people I've talked to who have lost someone, they welcome the opportunity to talk about their loved one. And even if you say, I don't really know what to say, say that.
Yes.
Just say
And I
that.
think women are amazing at that, resilient at that. And it's something men, I know it's myself, I know we talked a little bit off air about it, but it seems to be our go-to is don't touch those feelings. Like,
Mhm.
leave them alone. If we don't feel, we don't feel. But
Yeah.
it's a very unhealthy way of dealing with it because I think as hard as it is to say, I, God understands that there's a process to grieving, and thank the Lord there's a way through the end of grieving. Not that it ever goes away, but there is a measured steps towards better days in the future. Um, I just wonder, we always say when we lose someone, people sometimes say you lose a part of yourself, but I kind of
Mhm.
want to ask the question opposite. When you lost Chandler, what part of yourself did you discover?
That's a great question.
And
One of
some
the things
questions don't have answers if there's
I
none, I
well,
understand.
I'm a writer. I got words for everything. Um, eh, One of the things that I really I don't know if I think I did discover. He just loved to savor life. And I remember even as a little guy, he never went from point A to point B. It was always point A and around here and up on this ledge and jump down and then go through these bushes and then maybe finally get to point B. And I loved that. I loved being in those moments with him. And losing Chandler just crystallized all that for me.
Yeah.
That how important it is to recognize that the process itself is the journey. There's a destination, there are goals, there are things we want to achieve, places we want to get for sure.
Mhm.
But the process matters too. And if we wait and just try to connect all the important, in quotes, dots, we will miss the richness of life. We will miss the things that matter the most, the simplest things, the grandbaby that grins and runs at you saying Mimi, which I get to experience on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Um, the your crazy dog lying in your lap, and I'm so, so sorry for the loss of your dog.
Thank you.
The dog laying his head in your lap and just getting to pet your dog. Um, Getting to talk to your daughter who doesn't live here anymore on the phone for 5 minutes. Like, there's so many moments of life that matter so much, and we don't get it
Amen.
sometimes until it's too late.
Yeah.
And so one of the things Chandler lived and really crystallized for me, inhabit the moments with the people you love. Inhabit them.
Mhm. That's a great statement too. Do you mind if I ask you about your faith?
Absolutely. It's the core of who I am.
Yeah.
It's the only
Please share.
theological statement that mattered to me
Mm.
when Chandler was hit by that car.
Yeah.
It was right there at Christmas, and I wrote about it, Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Emmanuel. That means God with us.
Uh,
That's all that mattered to me. That's what I clung to.
mm.
That's where my hope was. And when Chandler was not here on this earth anymore, hope just looked different. It didn't go away
Mm.
because Emmanuel, God is with me. God is with me. Oh, And I would just say wherever you are today, if you're listening and it feels like hope is gone with whoever you've lost or whatever situation you're facing, you don't have to tackle the whole mountain. Maybe your first step is to just be open to this idea. Emmanuel, God is with me. Maybe that's your first brush your teeth.
Mm.
Maybe just to open yourself to that notion. Maybe God is with me.
Mm.
And I wonder how that might make a difference for me when it feels like the earth has been pulled out from under me.
Yeah. It just bringing up so many different thoughts I'm having. Were there moments um, through the grieving process, and everyone goes through it differently. We can't paint this with one broad brush, where even though we both share a common faith in a God who loves us and a Christ who died for us, was there ever moments though when it felt like there was silence? There was silence from God.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for
Mhm.
sure. And in what I recognize in those moments is God just sent God sent skin. He sent skin, like people with a nectar juice or a kombucha or a
Okay.
meal, or sent someone to pick up one day. I had cleaned out some of Chandler's things, and we'd gone through and given things to friends that we knew it would mean something to, and of course my kids and all of that. And I had kind of put everything in bags and put it at the front door. And I mean, that's a hard thing to do. And then I get a call from the charity truck that was gonna pick it up saying, "Oh, we're not gonna be able to pick it up today. You'll have to reschedule." And I thought, "I just lost it." And I put out on Facebook, "This is what's happened, and
Mhm.
I can't even face the idea of doing this again, schlepping it all upstairs and taking it back downstairs. Does anybody know of a charity that would pick up today?"
Oh,
Within, I don't know, hour or 2, someone just showed up at my front door, had picked it all up and taken it to donate. That's so when it feels like silence,
mm,
just keep your eyes open because, that story, I was waiting for somebody to come save me, and God's like, "Well, I sent a helicopter.
yeah,
I sent a plane. I sent a." So I think that we just have to be more aware to keep our eyes open and go, maybe your neighbor was
yeah,
got with skin on today.
yeah, yeah. How do grief and hope coexist?
Mm.
I'm thinking about that as you've been talking.
They just do. They just do. And we
Yeah,
think we have to wait for that perfect moment where
yeah,
everything's good. Well, when's that going to happen?
that's
You're
right.
I mean, every day I wake up with a new ache or pain. I'm like, Can I just not have a shoulder pain today? Can I just not have this or that today?" Like, I mean, and those are little things. I mean, there are people, there are people who are living day to day to day
Yes,
with chronic pain, with things that aren't going to go away.
mm,
So how can we, how can we live in a space that where our reality is everything, like all the things are never going to line up like we want,
no,
and have this notion that there still can be joy? Well, because joy is not dependent on that all the stars align.
that's right.
It kind of ties in for me with that reality of God is with me. God is with me. And the joy of the Lord is my strength. Um,
It's a settled conviction, isn't it? More than a
yeah,
feeling. It has to be. For
yeah,
me, it was. It's a settled conviction because I can't trust my feelings because they're all over the place. So,
yeah.
but they're still valid. Yeah.
And this groundedness in my son wrote a song for Chandler, my son's a songwriter, Chance
Oh
is a
wow.
songwriter. And he wrote a song about Chandler, that he sang at Chandler's celebration of life.
Wow.
And at the very end of it, he brought in the refrain from the old hymn. it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. And I
Yeah.
think that for me, the joy, the hope, all of it is intertwined. I can't parse out one from the other.
Yeah. I know people say, and people mean to say good things. I got to do one thing. I could turn the timer off. I'm recognizing the time and we'll go quickly, but I got
Yeah.
so it doesn't ruin the recording. Hey, Google, stop timer. Sorry about that. Um, uh, we'll wrap up here quick, rather quickly, but, people often say things well-meaning, some trying to be well-meaning. What was one of the most helpful things, though? Because normally we're always talking about what someone said, what they shouldn't have said. Was there someone or a person God sent your way, a friend, someone you didn't know that came by that said something to you that had a very helpful um, meaning to you, or
Mm.
was great comfort or advice that you would say to someone today?
The thing that meant the most to me, the things that were conversations with other moms who survived this thing of losing a child, and to hear them talk and say, "Here's what my first Mother's Day was like. Here's what their first birthday was like." That gave me hope because I'm like, they're still standing and they actually smile and they have a life and they're okay, use that term loosely, but they're okay, you
Yeah.
know? So that gave me, just in general, conversations with people who had been through it. That helped me. Um, a couple of specific things. One friend had a ring made for me that said WWHC because I'd written in my blog that about what would honor Chandler, talking about, would it honor him to shrink away from my life and just cry and grieve for the rest of my life that I've lost my son. No, it would not honor Chandler at all. What would honor Chandler is for me to live my life, embrace the my people, a plan for my own life, like
Yeah.
bring his story forward, continue his legacy. And
Yeah.
so that little ring meant so much to me. It was just this tangible, it wasn't like some crazy Tiffany's ring. Like we're talking, it was just this sweet thing. She probably got it on, Etsy or something. It
Yeah.
meant the world to me. Um, People that gave me little trinkets. Somebody gave me a little bracelet that said choose joy. It sounds like I'm asking for jewelry. I'm not. Uh, it just,
Put that
it
in the
was
show notes.
does it make it just was those tangible little things I
Yeah.
could touch and look at and remember. This friend remembered that very specific thing that I said
Actually
or
really
wrote
nice.
about,
Mhm.
and it just meant the world to me.
Yeah. I we've gotta have a 2.0 because grief is a big subject, and you're well studied on it, and I wanna
Mm.
kind of close with that, not trying to rush through a story that needs to be told, but out of respect, because I know you have a grandbaby you've gotta sit with soon.
Yeah.
Uh, Getting into grief recovery for people. I'm sure there was some time after, and then what was the spark? What was the igniter that sent you in the direction of I think I want to walk with people through their darkest times and study grief like you have?
It, every hard season in my life, in retrospect, I didn't know it at the time, but in retrospect, I see that I've found a way to recycle it
Yeah,
and encourage others. So when I was a young mom, I wrote a book for young moms. I recorded a CD for young moms. It's a hard season. It's a hard season. You're walking around like a zombie. You're sleep deprived. It's like, it's hard. It's a different shape of hard for sure, but it's hard. And so it was my kind of natural inclination to come alongside my fellow moms and just encourage them that what they're doing every day matters. The snot and the wiping the butts and all of it matters. And then, through the years, here I am, I've lost, and losing my mom. Part of encouraging moms was knowing the huge part of my life that I lost when I lost my mom. And now I get to be that for my kids. Now I've lost my son. My writing became my processor, and people told me it helped them when they read in my processing, my figuring it out. So it's just kind of my bent is whatever the hard thing is that I'm going through, if I can maybe shine a flashlight for you on just the next step forward,
Amen. Yes.
that's what I want to do.
We resonate well on that.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. Let's wrap it up in this way. What would you tell someone maybe who's just lost a loved one, whether it be a mom, a dad, or a child, with regards to there is hope and healing around the corner?
Mm-hmm. I would say when not to be cliche, but
No.
when it feels like your body physically won't move, you cannot fathom tomorrow or today or the next hour. Just look at the next 5 minutes. Just choose one thing. Is it get a cup of tea? Is it brush your teeth? Is it take a short walk? Is it text a friend? Just one small thing that tells your brain and your heart and your body, we're going to keep moving. Yes, we're devastated. We are in profound pain. And be that as it may, as a way to honor this one that we've lost, we're going to take this small step forward.
Lisa, it's been heavy, but I think it's been helpful. And I believe it's going to be helpful. And I thank you for allowing us to walk back through some of that grief. I've got snippets along the way of that dimpled boy that lived life in a very large way to its fullest, to its end. Where can people get their hands on your books and get in touch with you if you're open to that? Do you have a website?
I am literally an open book. I'm easy to get hold of. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I'm not going to swear you won't see some golden doodles and weenie dog videos and grandbaby videos, but I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I write on Substack. I've found this wonderful home there because I'm really a writer. I'm not a content creator. I'm not really slick on videos or whatever. I write. I process life through writing. So I'm on Substack, and I have a website if anybody is interested
We'll put
in
all
like
of it in the show
speaking, whatever.
notes.
One thing I want to really point out for if you're a mom, if you've lost a child, and especially if you're in the early days of it, I have this free thing. It's not a funnel. You're not going to get a bunch of emails after it. It's just one resource that I created. It's called A Gentle Guide to Getting Through the Day When You're Grieving the Loss of Your Child. And it's just some things that I found helped me. And it's just free. It's on my website.
Available on your website?
It's on my website.
We'll link it in the show notes.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a wonderful resource. Lisa, thank you. Tell us about, before I let you go, your family, including the weenie dogs, or your family makeup now.
Well, okay, my husband, I've been married 43 years as of 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
And I've got a weenie dog that has never decided it's a great idea to go potty outside all the time.
One of them.
And a golden doodle who eats underwear. I've got,
That's a vet bill you wouldn't want.
oh,
Yeah.
there's no dignity in owning a dog. You just go from changing diapers and having poop all over you to having dogs.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I have 3 grandbabies that I am literally obsessed about.
Yes.
I have Chase, Chance, Chandler, and Charlie. They are my best thing. They are my best thing. Man, I'm in love with those kids. And I love matcha, and I love chocolate, and I love hiking and reading and discovering new things and learning. If you could pay me to go to school the rest of my life, I would be so happy.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I love my life.
You live it very well. And I thank you for allowing us to be part of it for a little bit.
Thank
We'll
you.
make sure that's all included in the show notes, folks. You'll get that resource links to where you write on Substack. You got to run and get that grandbaby.
I got
I will
oh,
say, SwagAbility, we're here for you to walk with you through those dark times. You can reach us at swagability.com, and you do us the greatest honor by wherever you're listening on podcasts. Would you follow us? Or if you watch this on YouTube, you do us the greatest honor by subscribing. Till next time, friends, remember, keep thriving wherever life finds you. Swags out.